It is Thursday, so you know what that means. It is Wrestling Chat with Friends. I am your host. Today, Cheats Two Belts. I am joined as always by EJ the Collector. EJ, what is going on?
EJ is here. I am present. I am accounted for. I'm accountable. I'm a little annoyed right now because my AC might have just gone out, but we're going to push through. It's great to see you, Cheats. It's been a minute. Thanks to everybody who's watched the Tuesday show that I've been doing for a few weeks. And I feel a little more comfortable in my regular Thursday chair here. We'll get the collector's choice out of the way right now. A lot of interesting mail in the last few weeks for the collector here. I jumped on the train. I joined a subscription company, WrestlingCrate.com. If you've heard of it, shout out to them. I went with the cheap heat level. It's the lowest one. $9 a month. They send you an autograph photo and a couple of other things, like one or two other things. There's no T-shirts involved, pins, stickers, whatever. So the first box I got from them is an authentic Tyler Breeze autograph. Look at
that. How is that possible? Tyler Breeze, the man that should be a Maximum Male model, but that's for the Tuesday show. Tyler Breeze is in the building. That's hilarious.
I heard there's an opening maybe in Maximum Male models on the Tuesday show. So yeah, so each week, hopefully, or once a month, they're going to send me some stuff, and I'll feature them. They get to decide what the collector gets, and I'm happy to get any of it. So I'm here. I'm ready to go. Let's go.
Well, tell us so what is it called again? What's the box called again, so we know?
I believe it's called WrestlingCrate.com. I got to double check. But yeah, Wrestling Crate, one of the Pro Wrestling Crate. Maybe that's what it is. Pro Wrestling Crate.
It's basically like a box of awesome. They send you something every month.
Every month. There's lots of sites that are doing that now. Pro Wrestling Tees is doing that. AEW on their website has a subscription box. A few different tiers. There's T-shirts. There's like 2 T-shirts a month, 1 T-shirt a month. Autographs, and then like collectibles. Could be a DVD, could be a pin, a patch.
Well, look, we've got to work on getting a sponsorship. So those boxes, send them on over to Wrestling Chat with Friends so we can get some awesome sponsors for this show. Elliot, I don't know if you know this, but I'm calling this the season premiere.
I saw that.
Of Wrestling Chat with Friends.
Excellent.
Why am I doing that? There is no reason. It seems like if all the wrestling companies are just going to pick a day and call it a season premiere, there is no reason why we should not have a season premiere. And this is our season premiere for the Thursday show that is AEW focused. And so for our season premiere, we're bringing in special guests. It's not just us. We're bringing in special guests. And one of them is a really, really good old friend of the show. I don't know if he's 100% ready, but we have got Ty, Gimmick incoming, making a return. And then we have a very, very, very special new guest. He's been on the show before. He's in the very early days. He was like in one of probably the first 3 or 4 episodes. But my main man, Doe from Bumps and Banner, is in the building as well. So
that's what's up.
We have got a full crate ready to talk AEW.
I got the guys with me.
Oh, we got the whole show?
Yeah, no, we just finished our show. We just
bring them on. Bring them on. This is what we need to do. We needed to have the crossover for a minute. So look, Bumps and Banner podcast. I'm excited to welcome to the show. Introduce the crew, man. Let's get this thing going.
How's it going? How did you feel about that tag match last night?
Oh, we're gonna get into it. We got a whole situation that we got to talk about. But as the crew there, I want you to introduce the fellas on the podcast and let everybody know when it's filmed. See if they can get in the frame too.
Yeah.
What's good? This is overdue. This is overdue business.
This show just got a lot more handsome.
Go back a little bit more if you could hear us better.
We hear you.
I can hear you. We can hear you.
No, better?
Yeah, we can hear you. You're good.
Oh, great. So Bumps and Banner is
hit that switch.
Oh, hit the switch over here, bro.
This is live television, people. We're all live.
Two shows become one. Yeah.
The Great Hope.
You can't be fucking up my shit.
Who we got? Who we got?
And we got Super Dope. He's in the back. Dude.
What is up? That's my guy. That's my guy right there. Tell everybody real quick before we even go too deep. Y'all just celebrated what, 1 year? You just had an anniversary show, right?
Coming up soon.
Okay, it's coming up.
We're on our season. This is our season 3. You know, we look at it like 3 seasons a year now.
Okay.
How wrestling kind of works.
Okay.
Season 1 was, you know, January until probably about Mania. Season 2 was probably a little bit after. What was the last one after
Mania through All Out? Right before
All Out. All Out was probably like season 2. That was.
What was
So this is season 3.
Was season 3? Was our episode 1 season 3? Did we cover the?
No, our season 2 episode was 3 episodes long.
All about All Out.
Yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot going on.
So what do listeners, for people in my audience, our audience that aren't familiar with Bumps and Banner, what can they expect?
Okay, so Bumps and Banner is not your typical podcast. We talk wrestling, but we talk from, you know, our sense of wrestling, and we come out as like homies. We're all friends in different industries like music, promotions, and things to that nature, like just homies. But we just come and we book the territory just like you guys sometimes. You know, so like, but we're drinking, you know, we're doing different things. We're very loud and very kind of abrasive because we have a different type of space. I think so. Yeah, we curse at each other. We tell each other shut the fuck up. You know, like we kind of go in. I'm sorry for the platform.
It's all good. It's all good. It's all good. Keep it going. Keep it going.
All right, that's another piece of our podcast. Cussing.
By the end of the show, we're kind of like, you know, by the end of the show, we've kind of booked the territory enough where we're kind of angry.
I like it.
We have an audio podcast at the moment where we're on Spotify and we're on Anchor. They provide us the platform, and we pretty much just talk what's going on and book we do 2 shows a week pretty much.
So, well, let's say let me tell you how we start our show every week. And we start our show every week with, what are you popping for this week? So, as in the week of wrestling, we always start with what's the thing this week that got you going. Now, I will say this, Tuesday is the WWE show. So Thursday night, y'all are on the Thursday night show. It's the AEW show. So let us know. Let us know. I'm going to start with EJ. EJ, the collector, what were you popping for this week, AEW wise?
Oh, I had one loaded up for WWE, but I didn't know I just separated from the Tuesday show. I am excited about the hopeful revelation of who the White Rabbit is. Like, I really want that to happen on Saturday. I'm ready for that. AEW wise, you know, Bumps and Banner. I don't think I've been on you guys, been with you on this show before. So good to meet you guys. Appreciate you being here. Definitely. With that, there's a hot take incoming. I kind of want Sami Guevara to keep doing his thing. I have no problem with Sami.
Who was dog here today? 2 days ago.
We have a segment on our show called
I like it. We're gonna get into Sami. We're gonna get into Sami in the first segment. The first segment, I'm gonna tell you already, is gonna be Sami.
Everything that happened with him the last few days, things we know about, things we don't know about, things we're speculating. I kind of always had some, a little bit love for Sami. I like what his thing. He's a great vlogger. So, the way it sort of turned out last night, we will get into it. He seemed to come out a little cleaner than the other last night because his hand was raised at the end. So you can infer a lot about what happened last night based on that. But Sami Guevara, for better or for worse, that's who I'm popping for this week.
You are popping for Sami Guevara. We're going to get into Sami in the first segment. Bumps and Banner. This week, or since this is your first time on the show like this, anything AEW-wise, anything storylines, anything that's happening this week, what is getting you excited about AEW right now?
Well, actually, for me, I had my moment of the week was MJF versus Wheeler Yuta.
I like it. I like it.
Enjoyed that. they did a great job of telling the story, I believe, and great to see MJF look that good after 129 days of whatever they're promoting or whatever the reality of it is. he looked great. And my highlight of the week.
For me, the highlight of the week, I wish my shirt would have got here soon. I would have wore it for the show so y'all can see. But, you know what I'm saying? I think the highlight of the week was National Scissoring Day on AEW.
Absolutely.
You don't see too much homegrown talent get over like that. I love those guys, man. They really took something and they grabbed the people. It was organic, perfect.
It was beautiful.
Doubt.
Everybody loves the Acclaim.
Everybody loves the Acclaim.
What you got, Doe?
I think I still think it's the Judgment Day, doing whatever they want.
You said AEW, man.
Oh, well, we just
AEW this week.
What's AEW? The Darby and Jay Lethal handshake.
Oh, I don't know what they're doing with that though. I don't know if I like that. Look, I'm a big Jay Lethal guy. Yeah. But the only thing Jay Lethal has going in the AEW is that stable. Yeah. So if Sanjay Dutt and Satnam Singh Right. So I'm saying though, if they turn, I would have liked to just seen them beat up Darby after the match, do something crazy. But if they turn on Lethal ain't got nothing. He's just out there.
Yeah, that's it.
Well, Lethal has opportunity if he's out of that because he needs to get away from that big guy who can't go and move on.
They constantly disrespecting Lethal. Lethal is one of the best workers in that company, and they constantly disrespecting Lethal.
He got to cut bait because he's the only thing good about it.
Hey, let me tell you, there was a lot that's happening. There's a lot that's happening with AEW. What I was popping for this week that I didn't think so because you already said National Scissor Day was like the whole thing I thought was perfect. It was perfect. We're gonna talk about that, but I got to give some love to the big fellas, Wardlow and Brian Cage. If you watched that match last night, they had Wardlow doing moonsaults off the ropes. They had Brian. It was the most acrobat for two men that size to be that acrobatic, to go that long, and to look that good. Of course, Wardlow was going to go over. I don't know where Brian Cage goes from now. He got powerbombed like 6 times in a row. Yeah. I mean, he got at the end. He got squashed. Right.
Like the ROH is where he goes.
Did you see him though? He was so excited to be back on TV.
Yes,
right. Where did the African dude come from?
That's so. Yeah.
I was watching every week. I was like, where did this happen? This whole faction just came out of nowhere.
Yeah, he's the one they used to replace Tully with.
Yeah,
right.
Ring of Honor. He's Prince Nana.
I was like, what is happening? Now they got a whole championship match on Battle of the Belts and everything. I was like, what is going on?
They need TV to explain their ROH characters. They really do.
Exactly.
It goes to show that even though they've integrated ROH in quite a bit within the AEW program, they haven't done a great job. To your point,
they did a horrible job.
Yeah, at some point they're going to have. They're going to want to split this up into a TV show. Tony Khan said this week that Warner likes the pay-per-view concept, and he hopes that will inevitably lead to a TV contract. But if you're going to try to feature that on TV, they need to start establishing itself as its own entity in moving that, and play people like Lethal and people like Brian Cage, perhaps, are the two who are at least being featured on TV right now. They need to keep that train going. I think Lethal separating himself from Sanjay might be okay if they're going to turn a corner and get ROH up and running. But to have him without that group languishing on AEW every third week's not going to work.
It's not going to work. They need to replace one of them Elevations or Darks with an ROH show. Is what they need to do. They've got...
And it would be smart. So many people watch Dark and Dark Elevation. You turn one of those into the Ring of Honor YouTube show until until you get TV or whatever streaming they're working, because apparently
Thank
that's
you.
the backup plan. If TV doesn't go, then they're going to stream it.
But
And
that's you're exactly right. That's exactly what they have to do. Otherwise, these stories, I know more about the Trust Busters than I did about what happened with the Brian Cage story because of Dark and Elevation. They got to figure that out. Gentlemen, let's switch gears really quick because we already talked about, we're going to bring it up. It was reported before the show, and we saw this all during the week, that Andrade basically said, when he sees Sami, it's on site. And I guess he really meant on site. It was on site. So it looks as if now the story was coming out. As you guys know, Andrade was supposed to have basically a I'll leave the company match with a dude from Dark Order. That all got scrapped because Andrade, outside of kayfabe, saw Sami and decided that he wanted to take a swing or go after him or do something. Now we've talked week after week on this show about AEW and the fact that they are losing institutional control backstage. What happened with Punk, what happened with the Bucks, what happened to Omega. Now they've got another incident where Andrade goes after Sami. This is not the first time Sammy Guevara has been involved in scraps. He's been involved with scraps with, like we said, John Moxley, Eddie Kingston. Everybody seems to not like Sammy Guevara. So the question I have, I'm going to start with EJ. The question I have is Sammy Guevara the problem?
Sammy Guevara is most definitely not the problem.
Explain this.
Sammy Guevara is young, brash, obnoxious, athletic, arrogant. For as long as I can been a fan of pro wrestling, those are key qualities of a heel. He has branded himself terrific. He is he's doing it up to this point in a way that most other these guys who have become established would have dreamed to have done it. He has several things going against him, partly because he's young, and when he broke in, he was incredibly immature. You can't make an excuse for the Sasha Banks comments from a couple of years ago, but if you had paid attention to Sami at all, kind of either on his vlog or whatever, he seems to have matured from that. I wouldn't cast that mistake on him for the rest of his life because God knows we probably all made much worse ones. The thing he's really been dragged the most for is the engagement, and then 3 months later, he's with Tay. Hey man, yes, that is a bad optic, but shit happens in life, and you
when you're that age, it goes down like that.
It does.
Yeah, it's at the night that Sami proposed to his then fiance. He didn't envision this, and if he did, because if he had already become friends with Tay, hey man, like I said, we've all probably made mistakes like that, but it's bad optics. And remember, he's young, he's brash. But since the summer, think about what Punk's done. Think about whatever involvement Omega and the Elite had to do with that. And think about Andrade and Eddie Kingston. Sami's been obnoxious in those scenarios. Andrade seems to be one who went after Sami. Eddie, I got so much love for Eddie. If Eddie got angry for being called fat, they can both fight each other. They can both get suspended. At the end of the day, Sami had his hand raised, was picked up at the end of the night last night. And it seems as though Jericho has his back. So unless they were just sort of covering for what happened in the moment, Jericho, I hope, is kind of keeping somewhat of an eye on Sami, but he's a great character. He's a great guy. He is not the problem. The problem is Tony Khan, first of all, and some of the talent who are more in leadership and standing positions.
I gotta stop you.
That's it.
He's a tremendous talent. We have no idea if he's a great guy. Everything that points out to me proves that if everybody has a problem with you, more than likely you are the problem. Come on now. And it's well documented Moxley, problem with Sami. Kingston, problem with Sami. I think what it is it's not necessarily a jealousy thing, but there's it's traditions to a business, and if you come in like a lot of kids, I mean, in any business in 2022, where do you see young people, younger kids, and I'm not hating, but if they come in and be like, we're gonna come in and disrupt the whole business, well, there are people. It don't matter what it is. It could be wrestling. It could be technology. It could be anything. Well, there are people that have been there 15, 20, 30 years. And they may not look, we may look at it like we're the old guys looking down, hating on the young guys. It's not necessarily that. There are young guys that come into the business and get a lot of respect, no matter what business it is. A lot of my friends over at Bumps and Banner, I know a lot of them are in the hip hop industry. Hip hop in very much ways is the same way. There's a lot of young artists that get a lot of respect from what would be considered the old heads, the traditional, so forth, and they still are able to do their thing. Then there's the young artist that comes in, says, you know what I mean, F what all the old people did, F that, that's not what I'm on it, and they get reacted to differently.
Yeah.
It looks to me like Sami is one of those individuals early on. Now, he may be changing. He may be getting married. He may be maturing. But he looked like he came in on one of those types of things where my best example of this, EJ and fellas, my best example of this is we just talked about MJF. We just talked about how MJF has been received. And MJF is younger than Sami, right? They're about the same, around the same.
They're that same age.
Right.
Group.
So look at MJF, look at Jungle Boy, look at how they're received, and look at how, at this point, it seems like Sami's gotten in a fight with just about everybody in the business in this way. And I'm saying it's not necessarily all about them hating on Sami. It's at least a two-way street. And so I do think, I say, because we've seen this in life, everybody is saying that you are the problem. You looking around all crazy. But more than likely, you're the problem. There's something that you have to adjust. Now, can Sami Guevara, with all the talent that he has, can he make that adjustment? Absolutely. Is he a tremendous, tremendous talent for this company? Absolutely. But is he going to have to humble himself, I think, a little bit to be able to get to that next level? Because I'm going to tell you now, there are ways for all those people that he may feel are blocking him. He don't know the half of it because he may not be in AEW forever, right? Those reputations follow you. And if there's people like Moxley and Kingston and like you said, Jericho seems to be in his corner now, but Jericho is of that tradition. You know what I mean? So I just think that he might have a world, if he don't adjust the way that we think he can, he might have a lot of problems moving forward. Fellas, what's your take on Sami?
I gave him the "You Gotta Grow Up" award because I feel the same way you feel. I think he's immature, and because of where we at in wrestling, where everything's so social media so wide, he has a bigger platform because he's on TV every week.
Every week,
things he can say, just even like on Twitter, could be enough to get him punched in the face. How Sami has such a punchable face. Everyone's gonna always feel like they want to punch Sami in the face. So it's kind of like he's almost like, you know, damn if you do, damn if you don't. Whatever I say, I'm gonna get punched for it. So I might as well just say what I want. And that's kind of how he comes off. But I don't think you should do that in this profession because, like you said, you took the words out of my mouth. Your name carries weight, and that's a different weight. He can't make it to that level where Paul's going to look at him, you know, Big Paul, and go, I want to work with you. I want to do some business with you because you know what his business looks like.
Well,
that's already shaky. It's already shaky for him over there, even though, like, us as fans, we can't, hold the Sasha Banks thing against him forever. But that's already a big stoppage for him getting there anyway. So if you're not going to grow up on top of the other things that you've done, it doesn't, like, this was a whole topic for us the other day. I think that, like, he needs to grow up. He has a lot of immaturity. I think that, like you said, when everybody is kind of like, he's the problem, maybe it is you. Everybody's trying to punch you in that punchable face every couple of weeks backstage. It's crazy. But he's so talented. You know what I'm saying? If he bulk up a little bit, he could be a world champion.
Who's a Hall of Famer that this conversation?
He called for AEW. AEW, absolutely.
But I think it's time for him to go home.
You think it's time for him to go home? Who's another person that we've talked about that we could be describing the same person who, if he was breaking into the business now, he wouldn't have worked either? Randy Orton.
Yeah,
I thought you were going to go with Shawn Michaels. I really thought you were going with Shawn Michaels.
Even more recent than that, Randy Orton
is worse than Shawn.
Yeah, Randy Orton, bro.
Randy
Everybody wrong.
Yeah.
So, well, no one thinks that way about him now. So.
Right? No. EJ, you're exactly right. You're exactly right. Let me ask this, because there's so much I want to get to, but they make this big deal about the pillars of AEW, the young pillars of AEW, and Sammy Guevara was one of them. Oh, before I go there, let me just talk about the other side of this really quick, because we did talk about maturity. Andrade knows better. Andrade had a match that was scheduled for Rampage, and they were going to film it that night. Andrade doing what he did got him sent home. Everybody, if anybody's like us, we talk every week about they need more Andrade. Andrade needs a bigger piece of this because he's so good. He needs a bigger piece of this of AEW. And
we kind of changed sides on that recently over at Bumps and Banner. We think Roosh would be better in his position anyway.
Oh, you know what it is? You know what I'll say? Roosh is working. They let Roosh work on TV.
Roosh is great, man.
Roosh is great, but I think Andrade can do. Andrade is amazing, and I think they need to let him work.
Roosh got the look. When I look at Roosh and then I look at Andrade, I look at them side by side. Roosh gives me more of, this guy can be a world champion. This guy can
over Andrade though.
Yeah,
yes.
I'm not going that far.
Andrade has the face and the physique, but Roosh got the build. Roosh looked like he like for a luchador. He's a big luchador.
On top of that, he speaks better English.
He does.
He does. No, and he spoke English on TV just yesterday. They're starting to build that up. If you notice, he's starting to build that up. But I can't get that Cody Andrade like the table on fire moves. I can't get it out of my mind. Those are great. Andrade is an amazing worker.
Andrade is a great worker.
Here's my biggest take about him. Andrade's only had 26 matches since he's been there. He's only
He needs to work.
A year and a half, but 26 matches is like.
And guess what? They're bringing in Bandito, and that's probably going to cut, because you know how they do wrestling. That's going to cut Roosh and Andrade out a little bit to bring Bandito in.
Absolutely.
And because they already disrespected my boy Ray Phoenix because he's probably the most talented dude in the company.
But
he's holding gold right now.
And Bandito came in there and showed off.
Yeah. But they let him work. You know what I mean? But the same thing, like I said, the Andrade Cody match, they let Andrade come in and show off. They let Jay Lethal come in and show off. The problem is, and we talk about this every week, there's so much AEW talent. Where is Miro? Where are these people? They just get lost in AEW.
We can't blame Tony for Miro. Miro out shooting TV shows.
Finally, Miro. Yeah, but only finally, not like it's been the whole time. Finally, he's doing something with his time.
But I do blame Tony Khan. I do. And let me tell, and Elliot knows this, the whole thing last night is Tony Khan's fault.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody that been following wrestling at all during the week knew Andrade and Sami were going to have a problem. Mm-hmm. They know both of them had matches on the card. There's no institutional control. The wrestlers aren't afraid. Say what you want about Vince. Say what you want about WWE.
Never happened in the E.
Never.
Right. The wrestlers have no respect for Tony Khan. so they can go and do whatever they want every week. And you're facing these suspensions, you're facing all of these leaks, you're facing all of this stuff because Tony has no institutional control.
Do you think the EVPs, when they started this company 3 years ago, wanted Tony Khan to have any control? They wanted his money. They wanted his money. Well, Tony was enough of a mark. To let it happen.
His money. They wanted to have control, and all they wanted was the money. Now they don't have the control. And Cody left. Cody saw the writing on the wall.
Cody, go.
I'm out.
Cody got to get up out of there.
And Cody saw it coming. He did see it coming. All right, fellas. Let's switch some gears again because I do want to ask about this pillar question. I'm going to ask it in a different way since we have so many people on, and I know Ty is still trying to join, so we're still going to work this way. But Sammy Guevara, one of the early pillars of AEW, they talk about the pillars all the time. I think, Elliot, how many pillars are there? Is it 4? When we talk pillars, is it 4? All right, so this is what I'm going to do now. This is the question. We'll go around robin. We're only going to pick one. But if you were going to pick one pillar right now, not in the beginning, but right now, to start your AEW company with, one pillar, who are you picking? Talk to me, Elliot. Talk to me, Elliot. Tell me why. Tell me why.
You don't need me to do. You don't need me to do the talking. He's done all the talking. He's the number one heel in the last 25 years. His work is impeccable. He's the best best guy on the mic in the last 20 years. He could everything his character does on TV is also literally real life. I actually expect him and Tony may have some handshake workout, but literally he might be the only character or the only talent over there that WWE is going to salivate to try to get out of a contract. They will go after guys. They will send feelers out to other guys. They will make offers to other guys while they still have contracts with AEW probably, and however that works afterwards. The only person they will get into and this is why MJF's promos are great. He's right. There will most likely be a massive bidding war. A lot of it behind the scenes, although Meltzer and all these guys are going to love dropping leaks about it. Tell me why MJF is less dynamic over anyone else under 30 right now in the entire business, and that's a pillar.
I like it. Fellas, who you got? You're starting your company. You got to base it on somebody in AEW. Who do you got?
MJF. I wish I could go put on my whole Burberry just for this question.
All right. Well, I would at this point. I think I've got to go MJF as well. If I'm building my company, that was too easy. So let's go. Let me give one more, and let's think about it as because MJF is indeed also an upstart, but he is the best thing going in the company, and he's young, and he's going to be there for a long time. Is there a zag pick, Elliot? Is there a zag for somebody else?
No, but there's another, to me, quite obvious pick too.
Who you got?
Jade Cargill.
Oh yes,
that's where I was going. Elliot, that's where I was going.
Now, unfortunately, like MJF, she would be the top female performer that if you asked Vince, if you asked Triple H, who he'd want over there, I think it'd be her. I think there's some realization on everyone's side is that she may not be long for wrestling,
right?
So who knows what the future would be like as far as like contracts or storylines, because there just might be an agreement all around that this is the first of many steps for her. It's not going to take her as long as it did Rock and Cena
to transition to movies and all.
Or maybe even Sasha. It took Sasha 5-6 years.
It took a long time.
Yeah, I think if she gets here's where it's almost unfortunate she's not in WWE, because is she getting enough eyeballs? The simple fact of that, it may take as long only because of where she is right now. And if she was in WWE, she would have. This would be. Yeah.
No, and for this, I go back a little bit. I go back to Tony in many ways, because there is no reason we talked about this. They did a whole segment the other week where Saraya bought out the entire women's division, and Jade was nowhere to be found.
Target.
And Jade is the biggest thing in the women's division. So it's like, I understand if they're trying to keep her away just to keep the aura that is Jade Cargill around it. But Jade, I think, is clearly the best thing, biggest thing they have, most unique thing they have in the women's division. And they need, now I know she's green, but they need to keep putting her on TV. They need to let her talk. She's a great talker. She's not a bad talker at all. I think she's actually.
She's great.
I said she's green. She's green in the ring. She's green in the ring.
And that's another unfortunate reason why she's not in the E. If she was in the E, she'd be getting the proper training. She would get the proper repetition that she need. She would have the right people showing her what to do, how to.
She's getting trained. No. She's getting trained by Bryan Danielson. She's getting trained by Bryan Danielson. So she's getting training. She's getting trained.
Yeah, she's getting better. She's getting better.
But if she was at the Performance Center every week,
she'd be NXT Women's Champion.
Yeah, and at the end of the day with Jade, and we're kind of to this point, the difference is not so much Tony's fault. It's NBC, Comcast versus Warner. It's just like if she was in the NBC family, she'd be promoted better.
Yeah, I was just about to bring Ty in. Ty is showing up and popping out. He's killing me right now. What is happening, Ty? All right. No, all right. I will say this too. Since it was MJF, it was Jade. This could be recency bias for me because I'm so impressed with what happened last night. But I think I'd stamp a rocket to Wardlow as well.
Yeah,
I'd give Wardlow. I'll put a battery in Wardlow's back and make him the next Goldberg.
Another one that needs to be in the E.
This is an AEW show. B&B. This is an AEW show. B&B.
We just talked.
I think this was stars that's just not. They're just not in the right place.
They're not in the right place.
Cheeks.
They not getting the right repetition.
Who's that?
They don't have enough eyes on them.
We need B&B on the Tuesday show.
Yeah, we need B&B on the Tuesday show as well. No, this is phenomenal. Fellas. All right.
He's right. But he's right.
No, let's quickly talk about what is going to happen. Well, hold on. What should we do, Elliot? Do we need to do a brief recap? Because there's really only one thing to recap from last night that's worth talking about. And we've talked about it a little bit. But let's get into it a little bit more, and then we'll preview Battle of the Belts. But let's talk about just the journey that is Everybody Loves the Acclaim. And what happened last night on what I think was one of the best promos we've seen since Jericho introduced not the Society. What was the first faction that he had?
The Pinnacle.
That promo, that the National Scissoring Day kind of situation, I think was probably one of the best things we've seen since that moment. So, talk to me about what your take was about what would just happen to be a State of the Union by Anthony Bowens and Max Caster and the one and only Daddy Ass. It was I thought it was phenomenal. I thought it was well done. I thought it was funny. I thought it had the crowd, and they made a point that they are homegrown, and everything that happened to them happened in AEW from being buried to being champs because they kept work. They believed in their concept. And with Max doing the rapping, Bowens every time saying everybody loves the Acclaim, even when they were getting squashed, they would have that same mentality. And now they're on top of the world. And I think it's phenomenal. What did y'all think of? What do y'all think of just the rise of the Acclaim, how over they are, and National Scissoring Day?
I'm gonna tell you, right? It's so important because we all about, like the representation and stuff, and that's big, you know what I'm saying, in wrestling for us, the representation. That's one. Two, to see two young guys that, like you said, went out there and were kind of getting buried, and then they were playing the little heel role for a while, and they got over, and you don't see it like you just don't see that kind of organic growth especially in a tag team.
Right.
Nonetheless a solo star, but a tag team wrestling is already. AEW said they wanted to put a spotlight on it, and And like now it seems like it's, you know, they have these good tag teams, but the claim is like they're the best tag team in professional wrestling altogether.
Oh, whoa. Hold on now. They're
As far as being over, popularity, they're the most popular tag team in professional wrestling right now.
At the moment, yep, absolutely.
What? You co-signing that, EJ?
They're
You co-signing that?
They're
more popular than the Usos.
Stop it. Stop it.
Well, hold on.
Stop the madness. Stop the madness.
This is another team that AEW needs them, but if they
they're great. They're great.
If they went to
but let's not.
WWE, it would be way bigger. WWE would.
Let's not get it twisted. Let's not get it twisted here. Hold on, ladies and gentlemen. We finally have Ty Gimmick inserted here. Clap it up for him. Welcome back to the Thursday show. Can we hear you, Ty? What is happening?
I have no idea.
We cannot hear you, Ty. Oh, yeah, we can. Hold on. We can hear you. We can hear you.
We got you.
Yes.
Yep. You got him.
Restream's not trying to let me be great right now. It's all bad. What is up, everybody?
What's happening?
What is up?
What is up?
Miss me?
We did miss you, Ty.
Absolutely.
We did miss you.
This show just got a lot more handsome.
Oh, thank you.
All right, Ty. What's your thoughts? What are you popping for? What
am I popping for? Oh, I can't. My vitriol. Here we go. I am popping for the dysfunction, for the rioting that keeps happening in the back of AEW backstage.
You're cutting out. You're cutting out, bro.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, Restream is not letting you be great. Restream is not letting you be great.
It's not.
All right, you might have to take out the headphones or whatever. It's a long delay and you're cutting out.
He's popping for AEW dysfunction, though.
Right, he's popping for dysfunction.
I like it.
All right. Oh, there. I think you're better.
I just turned off everything.
Yeah, you're good. All right, talk to us now. Talk to us.
No, it's just dysfunction. People fighting backstage, hitting each other, not hitting each other. People getting fired. People wanting to go home. I think I predicted this. I think I predicted all this happening. But y'all didn't want to listen to me.
Are you popping because you predicted it, or are you popping because it's happening?
Yes.
Okay. Right.
Ty, who's to blame? Who's to blame?
Tony Khan. He's the owner of the company. Like,
okay.
Say what you want. Say what you want about the evil and the very horrible person that is Vince McMahon. He can control a company, though.
True. Yeah, a difference between a boss and a friend.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
He wants everybody to be his friend. He doesn't want to say anything when a certain wrestler, who I always said was a little overrated, throw your EVPs under the bus.
Oh, Omega.
Let one of your EVPs go to the competition because you didn't want to give them all that. You didn't want to give them any money, and then not sign one of your hottest acts, not keeping signs one of your hottest acts, and that was only down to 3 people. Is there even a Dark Order right now?
Mm-hmm.
Not really.
And signing up every bit of talent out there, almost like you're hoarding talent.
He's got a big checkbook. But not a lot of leadership qualities.
None.
Not enough TV time.
Not enough TV time. That's right. And he's not using those extra hours that he has online to make it work. All right, fellas, we have got to switch. Ty, glad you're joining us. We've got to switch to a preview, and it'll be a quick preview for Battle of the Belts that is taking place this Friday. Now, it's an interesting thing because Battle of the Belts is supposed to be taking place on Saturday. It's usually a recorded show that airs on Saturday. It is not airing. It is not airing on Saturday because I think Major League Baseball playoffs, right?
Correct.
Major League Baseball playoffs is going to take a lot of TBS, TNT time coming up. And basketball's back. So basketball's back on TNT already, right?
And Extreme Rules is also Saturday.
And Extreme Rules is also Saturday. But Extreme Rules is going to be a big one. That's going to we already previewed that on the Tuesday show. but let's talk quickly about what they're going to do with Battle of the Belts. All the titles, except for the heavyweight titles, on the line, right? So all the titles are on the line. Let's talk about what they just did. Speaking of homegrown talent and AEW that is getting over with the crowd, even though they're serving her up to Jade Cargill, Willow Nightingale has been making some moves over the last couple weeks. Got the pin in the ring over Penelope Ford last night, and then they just served her up to Jade. She's gonna lose, but she had a great promo. What do y'all think about Willow versus Jade?
Love it.
I'm
Love
excited
it.
for her.
Yeah, of course she's
Willow's
going to lose. She's going to look great. They're going to hopefully the only right decision that needs to be made is make her look good. Have her not be a total squash match. Give her a little bit of offense. You don't need to. It doesn't even need to look threatening, like she's going to possibly take the title. Although 1 or 2 spots would be great. And then you don't just stash her on Dark for the next month and a half. Keep her in a semi-regular rotation. She's got years ahead of her. She's not on a pillar level yet, but she is exactly the type of female talent that's young that ought to become a regular worker.
What do you guys think? What do you guys think of Willow?
She's definitely gotten over with the crowd. I mean, I watched last night because I think Joe brought it up like last week, and I wasn't really paying her no mind. And last night she came out and they popped for her. I was like, oh, okay. So this is what we're working with. So I'm actually really excited to see. Like you said, a couple good spots, make her look good. As long as she puts her shoulders to the mat gracefully, I'm okay with it.
Ty, where are you with Willow?
So I've loved Willow ever since NWA, since ROH. I've been following Willow for a while. I thought she was cheated at the ROH women's title on one of their last pay-per-views. But she's going to lose. I mean, we all agree she's going to lose.
Absolutely.
What belt was on the line for it?
This is for the TBS title.
The TBS, the ABC,
See,
the
there you go.
RH,
There you go. There you go.
Belts. But actually, this is a good spotlight for Willow too, because only 2 belts really matter to AEW, and that's the World Championship and the TBS Championship. Let's be honest. That's the only 2 they actually care about. And it's like I said, it's a good spotlight for Willow. I think that it needs to go longer than 10 minutes, and Willow's a good worker, so she'll make Jade look good.
Yeah.
That's what I hope. I think Willow has got enough experience, like you were saying, through NWA, ROH, and so forth, and working to make Jade look good. And I think that Willow has the potential. We just talked about the Acclaim and what they did. We didn't talk about, but you see what's happened with Ricky Starks. I think if they're able to keep working, there's these wrestlers in AEW that start to get over with the crowd slowly but surely. And if they keep working the system, Willow has a great personality. She's good on the mic. Now, here's Willow's issue, I think, because there's also another person that is doing the same thing, another woman in AEW that's probably got just a bit 3, 4, 5 steps ahead of her, and that's Jamie Hayter. So you got to figure out, like, Hayter's coming. Hayter's going to get a title. So Willow's coming. Hayter's coming. They're going to figure this out. Like they're
totally
like,
smart.
It seems like there's just a different division. Like she's just not fighting the people in the like the TBS is just a different division from the
it's the Rampage title, not a Dynamite.
It's
title.
the best thing that they have. She's the best thing they have in the women's division, though. So they can't put her. They can't have her squash. They can't have her squash Brett Breaker, Athena, and Toni Storm and all them, because then they wouldn't have anyone.
They can swap belts.
They can't though. She's not. That's the issue. She's not ready yet to be in that echelon every week of fighting those folks.
But what
Right,
he's
Wait.
saying
right.
is right though. What he's saying is right though. And if Tony was smart, you build up those people like Jamie. Like literally, you build it the right way. In 3 years, your women's title match at All Out is Jamie Hayter versus Willow Nightingale.
Yeah.
You know
If they did it right,
Right.
you'll see something like that. Let's ask about now and again. Speaking of people that haven't had a lot of AEW TV time, FTR is taking on Gates of Agony for the ROH title. And we got a pretty good introduction to Gates of Agony yesterday on Dynamite. FTR has been actually publicly complaining that Tony Khan's not booking them, even though they have all the belts. They will be on. They don't have all the belts, but they have a lot of belts. They will be on for Battle of the Belts, Gates of Agony versus ROH. I'm going to start with Ty. Ty, what do you think about this?
Who are they again?
Exactly. Elliot, what do you think? Gates of Agony is the stable with, I guess it's an ROH stable with Brian Cage and the African rich man.
I had not heard of them either before those two came in.
Really? See?
Not really. I think they win the titles.
Mm.
I actually think that will be I think FTR is a AEW tag team. I think this experiment has been awesome. I think they're going to carry the IWGP, the AAA for a while longer. But this is the beginning of starting to establish ROH and AEW. I think they come off of them to give an ROH tag team the titles and begin that. It's not going to hurt FTR too much. It also kind of clears a path for FTR to get into the AEW tag team conversation, which, I mean, the idea of like getting all the belts, I think they've probably decided that's not going to be the way to go. There's not enough of a need for that story, so it's going to start undoing in a smart way, hopefully. And FTR this is the path to FTR going after the AEW tag team titles is by first dropping these to these guys.
Did
Fellas, what do you think?
Wasn't Tully with them?
Tully's out.
I'm actually
Tully's
here
out.
for that. I don't disagree with that. That's an interesting take on it. But Tony's such a mark, so it's a chance that they win because
100%.
Tony's a mark, and Tony is one of those type of people that likes to appease the wrestlers. Hence why he has no control over his own institution, and the prisoners run the prison, for lack of a better term. So what you're saying is, I think that's for business. They drop the belts. They start this journey to the AEW tag team belts, or they start a journey back to WWE.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
There's so many people in AEW that really should just go to WWE, and
There's no room for them there either, though. I mean,
to lose all of the belts because they got somewhere to be.
Let's at the last match of this one, I think is actually pretty interesting. It's another one. Look, Ty, it's another one of those alphabet belts. It is the All Atlantic title. It's going to be the Bastard Pac versus Trent Beretta. What do you think about this one? Pac versus Trent.
Yay. Good for Trent, I guess.
They keep trying to make Trent the thing. I don't know why. They keep trying to make Trent the thing.
Trent is good. Trent is really good.
I think he was really good in New Japan. I don't think he's been really good in AEW.
Yeah, he was great in New Japan. A lot of those guys just got lost in the New Japan. The New Japan way just doesn't look the same.
Right.
They don't know. See, the thing is, all those guys that were over in New Japan, they come to America. That style doesn't really work. Like we talk about all the time, like Kenny Omega doesn't work in America. A lot of those guys, they don't work here. They don't know how to work on TV. It doesn't work. We don't resonate with what they do.
I kind of disagree with that.
Go ahead, Ty. Ty is our New Japan expert.
Because you got Shinsuke Nakamura that came over, and immediately that one match with Sami Zayn on NXT TakeOver connected with the crowd more than anything he's ever done with New Japan. Like everyone in America knew his name after that match.
That was a great match.
Maybe because it was WWE.
It was a WWE style match.
WWE broadcast.
No.
But
it wasn't a New Japan style match. It was a WWE style match.
But the thing is,
Shinsuke Nakamura got so much charisma in himself already that you have some. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you. if Kazuchika Okada, if that was Kazuchika Okada, it would have been the same thing because he has charisma.
Yeah.
You're going to have some people that have that charisma. Kenny Omega don't have the same charisma as Shinsuke Nakamura.
But you know what happened? You know what I'm going to tell you? Omega adjusted very well because when he first came into AEW and everybody was like, Kenny Omega, and I was telling Ty, I was like, yo, I don't get it. I don't like it. I don't see it. I don't understand it. By the time they got, not this year, but by the time they got to Grand Slam last year, when Kenny was doing them 60-minute matches, you know what I mean? I was like, I get it. This dude is the truth. He can go. And I think it was, they put him in feuds with Christian Cage. They put him in feuds with Bryan Danielson. I was like, yo, Omega started having the types of matches that I think American audiences that didn't know him by reputation needed to see. Once they started seeing those matches, and Kenny, I'm going to be honest with you, Kenny shouldn't be doing 10-minute spot matches on Dynamite. He needs to do, right, he needs to do the 45, right, he needs to do the 45-minute, I'm in New York City on the Grand, because I'm telling you, those things, same thing with Bryan. Danielson can go when he gets that opportunity. Now, Bryan can do everything. But when they gave him the 60-minute match against Hangman 2 times, like that's when you really got to see what I think the people in Japan saw. And I don't think there's a lot of TV time in AEW right now that allows them to do that type of thing. But I don't want to get off topic because I think Pac can go, man. Pac has been one of those folks that he never really looks bad, and they never really make him look bad. He always gets he usually gets a win or gets something. And I mean, I think he goes over on Trent.
He's been a part of he's a big part of the foundation of that company and what keeps the company rolling.
I think so. I think he goes over on Trent. I actually, Elliot, what do you think about Pac versus Trent, real quick?
Pac over Trent. Pac keeps that title for the next challenger, but it's not being featured enough, in my opinion.
I'm with you.
He's pulling double duty that night.
Yeah, I think this is going to be because I don't think they win both. They're going to have a trios match, right?
Yeah. So on Rampage, I was going to get to this. The last thing I was going to get to. On Rampage, there is a trios title match: Death Triangle versus Dark Order. The Dark Order is going to be 10. Alex Reynolds and Johnny Hungy.
Yep, me too.
I think because of the best friends Danhausen thing, and that's going to piss off Pat. That's how we get to this match.
Sure.
That makes this match a match that you can, actually watch and have some investment in.
I said a few weeks ago, I'm not sure. I don't like the look of a 2-belt champion. In this situation, in all elite wrestling, I think Roman pulls it off great, no doubt about it.
Roman's the biggest thing in wrestling.
Right. Really, no one else ought to be doing that. And I think it looks to debut a trios title, which is a great idea. You didn't initially plan to have it on those 3 guys, but you did it that way. So I think you don't want to have one guy with 2 belts, even if it's a trios and a single. So I think Pac stays with the singles title, but the trio title drops tonight.
It's the anniversary of
today.
Brody.
It's just the anniversary of Brody too. The stars.
A lot of symbolism.
They're going to capitalize on that and change the belts.
There's only one reason that they would change the belts, and that is if a certain 3 people suspension is about to come up.
Good.
Well, hey, look, Brian Custer was back in the ring before Dynamite Wednesday. So they're coming back.
Dark Order is so lovable that even if they weren't imminent, they could hold it for a month. That trios title is one that probably should rotate on a semi more consistent basis than some of the other singles titles.
Like how the TNT belt was at first, where it rotated just about every 60 to 90 days. That's how the trios titles needs to be.
Yeah, 3 months is fine. We don't need to see 8-month reigns out of every single title holder.
Right.
Speaking of which, ladies and gentlemen, is Scorpio Sky dead? Where's Scorpio Sky? What happened to Scorpio Sky?
He's
No,
trying,
rehabbing.
he's trying
Ward-
to find his place in American top team since Tony won't put him on TV.
Ty, to answer your question, Wardlow is the TNT champion.
Oh, he's still that? Okay, yeah.
Yes.
When's the last time he was on
Ward
TV?
Joe. Wardlow was on TV last night. He wrestled Brian Cage.
Brian
It was a good-
Cage still has work?
It's a whole thing. You missed this whole thing. It was a whole thing. Ladies and gentlemen. All right, we're gonna go into our last segment. First of all, we got to thank B&B Bumps and Banner. Thank you so much for being on the show. How do we follow y'all?
We appreciate
Nah, man, I love it. I love what y'all are doing. I feel bad. I owe y'all an anniversary video. But look, everybody, follow Bumps and Banner. Make sure that where can everybody find y'all, and when does the show air?
Oh man, we on Anchor. We on all streaming platforms on Anchor. On social medias like Facebook, Twitter, as Bumps and Banner. But we're on Anchor. We're on Spotify under Bumps and Banner. And where else are we?
We're coming soon to a few other places.
Yeah, eventually, what we're working towards to being on WIR.
Nice.
That's what's up.
Very
Nice.
soon, and have a little radio show for that as well.
Well, look, the door is always open for the Family Podcast Network. I've told Doe this all the time. If you want to come on over, come on. You're welcome. I happen to know a guy that controls the Family Podcast. I know a guy that controls the podcast network. A point of personal privilege when it comes to Bumps and Banner. I've known both Doe now and Super Dope Haskins for a very long time. Earlier, he saw my son Ted popped in. I actually knew them before my son was even born, and I was looking at Chris's son, Super Dope's son, on a microphone probably damn near 10 years ago. And the funny part is, I just wanted to say, brothers, I always appreciate y'all. I know the grind that y'all do all the time, whether it's on the microphone, doing the music thing, or doing what you're doing with wrestling, or even just raising your family. So I really appreciate y'all coming on the show.
Absolutely.
We appreciate that.
We appreciate that so much.
Thank you so much.
Likewise,
Excellent.
too, man. We look up to you. We see it just like you see it.
It's only a matter of time. Look, come on over. We're going to hit the button. Boom! Ty, how do we look? Give me your final 2-minute State of the Union on all things, because we had some technical difficulties. We weren't able to get you the way we wanted to get you in on the show this week. But when you look at the landscape of AEW, what are you thinking? Are you concerned?
No, AEW is going to be fine. The network loves AEW. It's going to be here for the foreseeable future. Is Tony Khan going to have as much power? Might be the question, because he can't seem to run it, and the network might take it away from him or put someone else in charge of it.
Someone might else be in charge.
Yep.
Oh, there it is. That's a possibility.
I think definitely executive roles will be redefined in the next few months for a lot of people.
All right.
Yes.
Look, Elliot, do you have a face of the week?
I don't have a face of the week that I can think of. I mean, I will think of one, but I got a match.
Do we have a heel of the week?
I got a match recommendation thanks to Ty. Go back and watch Sami Zayn versus Shinsuke Nakamura at TakeOver.
There you go.
That was that. It came across my feed the other day, and I watched a good bit of it. That really was spectacular. So if you are a wrestling fan, definitely watch that. If you're a wrestling fan, hopefully you're watching this show, and you should follow our show at WCWF Pod on Twitter. We're on YouTube at Wrestling Chat with Friends. Subscribe, like. Whether they smash the notifications bell,
all of that
one too. And we're on Facebook at our Wrestling Chat with Friends. I sent a lot of invites out to a lot of my friends the other day that joined the Facebook page. So thank you to the ones who did. And quick shout out to Heel and Heels. We love her.
Ty, do you have any faces or heels of the week?
Face of the week. I'm going to have to give that to LeBron James.
LeBron James.
For, finally saying something that we all were thinking when asked about Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Who is my heel of week as well.
Oh, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is your heel of the week?
Yeah. There's no relationship. There's been no contact. Nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Good day. Haters gonna hate, and that record is gone. So he needs to live with that.
Do you have a prediction date for when that record will go down?
Yes.
Let's call date.
Mid-season.
Somewhere late January.
Yeah, about late January.
That's what I thought too.
All right, so I'm going back old school. Back to our roots. And the roots is I'm going heel of the week. I'm not going face of the week. I'm going heel of the week.
I got a face of the week when you're done.
Put the camera on me. Herschel Walker. Herschel Walker.
Yeah. You
You are my heel of the week. And you're probably the heel of the entire campaign season. Because this is ridiculous. It has gotten what started as comedy, what started as funny, what started as inappropriate people getting the nomination to run for the U.S. Senate is one thing. But now, Herschel Walker, you have graduated to not only domestic violence, not only lying about your resume, not only lying about working for the FBI. You have basically gone into paying a unknown woman that he says, unknown, all lies in his book, paying for an abortion in which you have said publicly that you are against abortion in any situation. You paid for a woman's abortion. The woman provided the receipts that you paid for it. He comes on TV. No, not even mentioning the good air, bad air thing that was ridiculous. He comes on TV and says, I never heard of the woman. It comes out after that it is one of his children's mothers. That just came out a couple hours ago that she had said, we knew he was going to say that. So now she was like, if he says that, I'm going public. She goes public. It's one of the mothers of his children. So now, not only has he disturbed the one child that's all public on social media talking about he threatened to kill his mother and him. Now he's got another family, another one that he is fathered a child by, also calling him a liar. This has gotten insane. And the American people need to know that Herschel Walker has no place anywhere near the U.S. Senate and no place anywhere near public office or any role in leadership. He is my heel of the week. It's ridiculous at this point.
But he has
That's all I can say. That's all I can say. I don't care. He said today in response to the allegations, oh, now they're going to say I didn't play football. Look, it's gotten out of hand. And America needs to stop this. This is ridiculous.
They really do.
All right, Elliot.
I want to reverse course. Let us end on a good note. Quick, the Aaron Judge 62 home run season.
Oh yeah, Aaron Judge
is a great story. But my face of the week is Shohei Ohtani, who, if you actually look at the numbers, had a
stop the madness.
Historic cheats.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. I don't want to interrupt.
When you qualify for league leading in both pitching and batting, that has only happened maybe one other time. It's never happened in the World Series era. Judge will win the MVP. It'll be deserved because he had a fantastic season.
That's all I'm saying.
What will get lost is the really sort of remarkable generational type season that just happened in this coincidentally in the same year that one of the most historic records in baseball was challenged. So they're both my faces of the week, but everyone put some respect on the Ohtani name.
I like it. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have to end it there. Elliot alluded to it. We got to give a big shout out to our favorite heel and heels. Megan is going to be taking an extended leave of absence while she goes through this grad school semester. So we will be back every week with different folks, hosts. Like EJ will be here. I'll be here. Hopefully Ty will be here every once in a while as well. And we will bring on our friends as we always have done. And it is going to be a blast. So until next time, we're counting it out. 1, 2, 3. Until next time.